So 5-minute meeting. I can get my,
Well, good evening, members of council, members of management. Welcome to our August 10th, 2023 meeting. It is, let me see, all my glasses here. It is 7:02 p.m. I would ask a member of council to move that we adopt the agenda as circulated. Moved by Councilor Myra White, second Councilor Tracy Boland. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Just want to say absent tonight is Councilor Lenny Tiller, unavailable this week for meetings. Just want to say that welcome to all participants to our public meeting. Although you're really not participants, you only get to listen. But I just want to say that the great town of Stephenville today is blessed with some rain. Lots of parts of this planet is not getting enough rain. And there's been a lot of forest fires, even in Hawaii, on the island of Maui, they've been hit pretty hard. So the extent of global warming, I gotta say, it is real. And Stephenville, Newfoundland and Canada will play a critical role in producing green hydrogen to help with the energy demands of major industries, major companies, major G7 countries, and Stephenville is on the map. So in saying that, I'd also like to start off by saying that we are on Indigenous lands, so we respectfully acknowledge the town of Stephenville as the ancestral homeland of different populations of Indigenous people. We also acknowledge with respect the rich histories and cultures of the Beothuk, the Mi'kmaq, Innu, and Inuit of the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. Okay. We'll move to item number 4, the approval of the minutes from our previous meeting. That was July the 20th, 2023. That was circulated by our town clerk via electronic media. I would ask a member of council that we approve those minutes. Moved by Councilor Tracy Boland, seconder. Second, Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Are there any matters arising from those minutes? Nope. And we have no proclamation of delegations tonight, Jennifer? Okay. So we'll go into our committee reports, and I'll turn it over to our trusted Chair of Finance, Councilor Myra White, for item number 7.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Finance Committee met on August the 8th, 2023, and the following items were recommended for council approval. Item number 1, Property Collections Report. That the following be approved as listed. A, property tax write-off in the amount of $1,836.88. Item number B. I'm sorry, I guess I have to explain the video.
I think he's
Okay.
fine.
I'll read it. A, property tax write-off in the amount of $1,836.88. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder. Second, Councilor Laura Aylward, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
1B, water and sewer tax adjustments of $1. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White for the adjustment of $1. Every dollar counts these days. Can I get a seconder on that? Second by Councilor Tristan Yulin, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item 2, accounts payable, requesting approval to pay accounts payable for July 2023 in the amount of $268,351.94. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Second, Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item number 3, expense checks, requesting approval to pay expense checks for July 2023 in the amount of $368,803.35. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder. Second, Councilor Laura Aylward, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item number 4, request for donation, Run the Rock, Make a Wish. requesting approval to give a donation in the amount of $300 to Run the Rock Make-A-Wish Foundation. I so move.
Moved by Councillor Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Second Deputy Mayor Stephenville. I'd just like to say that, our Canadian military play a big role in the defense and the sovereignty of our country. And being a veteran myself, I believe our CAO is a veteran also. But, when you step forward to put on a uniform for your country, whether it's Canada, whether it's the Ukraine, it is a big sacrifice to make, that you're going to defend the liberties and the sacrifices that everybody has to make. And it's when you see an event like this and they're raising funds for charities of different types, they're to be commended. And when they run a rock, let me tell you something, that's a big feat, because this island is a big island. It's bigger than Germany in landmass. Thank God they're not running all around it, because it's actually 10,000 miles if you had to go to coastline, which is twice the distance from Vancouver to St. John's. But crossing it's about 800 kilometers, give or take. So they're to be commended from the Canadian military. And today it was Make-A-Wish Foundation. That was what they were running for. So they're to be commended. For those that are still serving, those that have served in the past, and those that have made the ultimate sacrifice, I commend them for all they have done.
Yeah, I attended the
Yes.
event there this evening and presented the check from the town, and they were very appreciative and wanted me to pass on the thank yous. And there were from all over Newfoundland. There was one guy there from Montreal.
Okay.
No, Quebec. He was from Quebec City is where he was from. They were all over the place, from all over the place, and they were having a really good time, and they really, couldn't get over the hospitality that the Legion had nice meal for them and showed them, and told them a bit of history, and they really appreciated that fact. And there was the two young boys that were there and their families, so talking a little bit to them too. So I was really glad to be able to represent town council and the citizens of the town at that event this evening.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that, Laura Aylward, for attending the dinner and representing council. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. And is that it, Councillor White?
It is.
That is it. Okay. Nothing late, management? No, nothing at all. Okay, so I'll turn it over to our Chair of Planning and Traffic, Councillor Laura Aylward.
Okay. The Planning and Traffic Committee met on August the 8th, and the following items were recommended for council approval. First item is 11 Bayside Drive, requesting approval to grant outline permission to subdivide property located at 11 Bayside Drive as per plot plan submitted. I so move.
Moved by Councillor Laura Aylward, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councillor Myra White. All in favor?
Aye.
Contramine? Motion carried.
The second item is 22 Valley Road, requesting approval to grant outline planning permission to subdivide the property located at 22 Valley Road as per plot plan submitted. I so move.
Moved by Councillor Laura Aylward, seconder.
I'll second.
Second, Councillor Tricia Newland. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item C, 141-147 Main Street, Galen Holdings Limited, requesting approval to issue permit to repave parking lot 30/50 at rear of building located at 141-147 Main Street. I so move.
Moved by Councillor Laura Aylward, seconder.
I'll second.
Second, Councillor Myra White. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
D 19 Woodland Street, Annette Streets, requesting approval to issue permit to relocate and operate an existing home-based baked goods business out of the residence located at 19 Woodland Street, subject to compliance service NL approval. And goods will be delivered to customer's vehicle as a point. Make a point of that. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Lori, seconder. Second, Councilor Tristan Newland, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item E, 43 West Street, B&S Auto Sales / Sean Hickey, requesting approval to issue a permit to renovate existing building, including interior and exterior renovations, replace existing pavement and erect a sign on the building to accommodate a medical clinic as per drawing submitted on the property located at 43 West Street, subject to compliance of Service NL approval. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Royal, second, Councilor Tracy Boland, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Number F, 21 St. Stephen's Street, requesting approval to grant outline planning permission to the applicant to construct a 6.5, I guess 6.5 feet and 16 feet extension on the rear of the house located at 21 St. Stephen's Street. The construction of the extension would result in 10% variance to the maximum permitted. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Royal, seconder. Second by Councilor Tracy Boland. Just want to say that, we are in the metric system quite some time. And I'm still old school and still using my tape where I'm in feet and inches, 8ths and 16ths and all that good stuff. And I gotta say that, when I see an extension 6.5 feet by 16 feet, it really resonates with me really well, my age. But sometimes I wonder, should we be converting to metric and have everything in meters now?
Don't do that.
Leave it alone.
I'm just saying, it might be a little challenging.
That's
Maybe
the one-
we'll have to purchase some calculators to have in front of us or have smartphones or
That's the
something.
one metric thing that never stuck with me. Like, I'm
No.
still.
Yeah.
I'm doing the same.
Yeah, and even the tapes, you got the
Yeah.
meter, but I'm still, actually, I
Me
was
too.
working my tape and chop saw today, and it's all about feet and inches, 8ths and 16ths.
Yep.
Yeah.
And 30 seconds. Well, not so much with the chop saw, but just saying. Anyways, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Last item is number G, 3739 West Street. It was a recommendation of the committee that this request be denied. Outline planning permission to construct a fourplex on the property located at 3739 West Street as per Town of Stephenville Development Regulations, 2014, Article 55. No residential or commercial building shall be erected unless the lot on which it is situated fronts directly to a publicly owned and maintained street or forms part of a comprehensive development. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Lori Ward, seconder.
Second.
Second by Councilor Myra Lake. I just wanted to clarify that a development of this scale do have the option to do the comprehensive development.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask if it was
Yeah.
communicated to them,
Yeah.
that there is,
It will be communicated.
Okay,
Of
perfect.
course, the decision is based on this.
Yeah.
If it is
Yeah.
denied, then we'll communicate.
okay, perfect.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Like voting to deny, right?
Correct. yeah.
Okay, aye.
So this is the last of the items for planning, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, all in favor, we got that?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you very much for that. This is Councilor Laura Aylworth. And I gotta say that I appreciate once again that you jumped in, handled that dinner for us tonight, and you still made it to the public meeting.
It's been a hectic day, I must say, between the foundation and the town and so on and so forth, but all good,
All good.
all very interesting and really like what I'm doing today.
Good for you. Okay, so item number 8, no bylaws and regulations. I do know I want to give a little update there. We got an update from our town manager today that our departments are working feverishly on new bylaws that will come in front of council for reviewing, editing, and adoption. And we're hoping in September for a whole suite of bylaws that will, policies, that will be passed through policy or bylaw procedures. And that will get us in sync with the new era of council. That's as about as succinct as I could say it, Deputy Mayor. Okay, unfinished business. Do we have any councilors? Okay. I've got a couple, I guess, a couple of new ones, but I got one unfinished business. I just want to say that a couple of weeks back, I'm not sure if it was the last meeting or meeting before, and we rolled out our community grant proposals publicly to all of our community groups, and it was a new procedure that council adopted and supported because we felt it would create a higher level of due diligence and communication. But every time you do something new, as you well know, there are challenges with it. But the good thing was it gets every community group out there recognizing that the town of Stephenville do have a community grant procedure. And we did see some new entrances coming from the last step. But at the meeting, I had said that in an interview that we as council and staff, we could have done a better job communicating. And that goes for everything we do as a public body, that we could actually do a better job of communicating. Just like we're handling a public meeting tonight, I'm sure we could be critiqued about, we could have done a little bit better job communicating. But it's a little challenging in the town where you don't have a radio station now, you don't have a paper, and the means other than social media or a Facebook live stream, there's not a whole lot of mechanisms, websites. You can do print media, and we're going to look at doing that. We're looking at having public meetings starting quarterly in September. But I just want to make a statement from that meeting. So basically, the intent of my public statement to the media a few weeks in reference to our new community grant program was to clarify that council and the town of Stephenville should continuously improve our communications with our community. It was not my intention to suggest that staff did not communicate as directed. I and my council have the greatest respect for our employees and the exceptional public service work they do every day, except for holidays. But our firefighters and our management actually are on call 24/7. So just for clarification there. I will also like to inform that we will shortly be launching our autumn intake for our community grants program and look forward to continuing to support our community groups who also do so much for our community. So I just wanted to clearly state that, okay? Okay, any new business?
Not so much new business as updates, and thank yous, I guess, to, first of all, our first Stephenville Day on Main Street Monday past was a great success, and I think thanks to our Recreation and Wellness Department for putting together a wonderful event, lots of good feedback while we were there, and also a thank you to the RCMP who actively participated and did some fundraising by putting us in jail. But having said that, they did raise $2,006 for to go split between the Mothers Against Drunk Driving and the Sick Children's Foundation. So that was a wonderful thing. Tracy and I and the fire chief got soaked today at the Run the Rock event. So that went very well too. They seem to be having a great event there and raising some good money. And also shout out to Daryl Chip, who placed in the disc golf nationals again. He's, as you know, instrumental in getting disc golf up and going here in Stephenville, but he's certainly making a name for himself on the tour. And the other note I had was a reminder, and this is where communication will start to improve, I hope, on this piece, but a reminder to our citizens that we do have a policy around fireworks, which suggests that they are only to happen twice a year, New Year's Eve and July 1st. And during the summer, there have been a number of very excited people who are on beaches and in backyards who are setting off fireworks. And some of them, when they're reminded, are saying that they weren't aware of the policy. So I think it's incumbent on all of us to continually remind people and possibly find a way to communicate that even through the businesses who sell the fireworks.
Well, it's funny you say that, Deputy Mayor Fowler, because I was driving by one of the retail stores in Stephenville, I seen fireworks for sale.
Mhm.
Maybe we can get a communique sent out to the stores that sell fireworks on our policy.
Yeah,
So when somebody's buying, they can hand out a leaflet and say, this is the town policy, just to let you
Yeah.
know. If you're in town, here are the policies of the town of Stephenville. It's just a way to communicate, right?
absolutely.
Okay,
Well, I want to say congratulations to Katarina Roxon again too.
Oh, right.
yeah, bronze medal.
Sorry, forgot her.
You know what? If you put all the medals around her neck, I can tell you she'd be carrying a heavy load.
Yeah.
Because she's after winning so many world and Olympic medals. It's just amazing, you know?
If we ever actually honored the athletes from this area over the last number of years, we well, over the history of Stephenville, I suppose, I think we'd be shocked. We had the opportunity on Monday to again congratulate the athletes who went to the North American Indigenous Games and to congratulate again the Special Olympians. There's just been for a community our size who has the facilities that we have, but also lacks a lot of training facilities. Like, for example, if you're a, I'm going to say track and field because I forget what it's called now. An athletics, is it? Yeah, athlete who can't train in the winter
Yeah.
because there's nowhere to train. And yet we're winning on the world stage, on the North American stage and so on. So imagine as we grow and improve our facilities, kind of where we're headed and where the people here are headed. So that's a wonderful thing to see.
And I've known we have so many priorities as a council, but, you know, we have a commitment coming up over the next 3 years from World Energy for $3.3 million. And where we're going to spend that from a vibrancy or community perspective, you can never go wrong with recreation as a part of that contribution that we're going to receive. And we've had many discussions of a positive space indoor facility that our soccer players and baseball players and softball players and track and athletics could be, tennis could be 12 months of the year. How much more? And you know, at the end of the day, they said to become a master, you got to spend 10,000 hours at something.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of hours, but short summer seasons for summer sports, there's not enough time. So, you know, that's something that we will look at definitely. I got a couple of things I want to mention. Last Saturday was sort of a historic day, I guess, for the Port of Stephenville, who is now owned by World Energy and Horizon Maritime. They have in their fleet 14 vessels, but the Polar Prince actually sailed in and spent a day in Stephenville. Councillor Aylward, Councillor White attended the event with me. There was a presentation at our council chambers that morning with young environmental science university students and mentors and coaches. And the program that they're on is called the Blue Economy. And it's about supporting and finding ways to protect our ecosystems around our water. And that's our oceans, our lakes, our streams. And as you all know, 3 parts of the planet is underwater, and there's a lot of protein in a protein source or fresh water that sustains us as humans. Goes in what, 7 billion people now on the planet. So the work that they're doing is instrumental. Some of these university students could end up becoming policymakers of the future. But what was nice was the Polar Prince was the epic docking of their first ship at their own port. It was pretty impressive. And the ship actually was built in 1959. It was it's an icebreaker. And a little history on icebreakers, Canada was the first country in the world to build icebreakers. So if anybody's trying to say that the Arctic and the North's not Canada's, oh yes, it is. Because sometimes we get challenged by the Russians now. But, so I just want to say, the other thing, two more little things I wanted to mention is, a couple of weeks ago, we had some visitors out of Boston who had some historical and personal connections to Stephenville. And they were here over the weekend. And they got to experience our hospitality, our weather. But a couple of days later, they emailed myself back. I had met them at the airport when they flew in on their own private aircraft. And they basically said in the email that they have not witnessed so much hospitality in their lives. It's probably the best quality air that they have ever breathed in their life, in the email. And now they're purchasing a property in the Stephenville area. And it just goes to show that we have so much to offer. And when we say West Coast, best coast, well, I'm just gonna say we're the best of the West Coast. The
Best of the West.
Okay, I'm just saying it. I'm a promoter of Stephenville.
It was right.
Yeah, okay, yeah, so I thought that was pretty good. The other thing I wanted to mention was, before we meet again as a public council, this will be the last public meeting before we hit August 23rd. August 23rd will be the 1-year anniversary date of the signing of the Green Energy Accord between Germany and Canada, where German Chancellor Scholz and our Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, dignitaries from all over the world, primarily Germany, Atlantic Canada, Ottawa, all the premiers from the Atlantic provinces, 25 CEOs, top CEOs of Germany, Mercedes-Benz, Volkswagen, they were all in Stephenville for this signing. I'm not a Gilbert Higgins when it comes to history, but I'm pretty close, just saying. But this will go down to me as the largest political signing in the history of the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. This is at a G7 level. Since this signing, there's been significant investments by World Energy purchasing the Port of Stephenville. They have received the first stage of their Crown lands. It's hoped that this month, all Crown lands will be given out by the provincial government. It's a big step. And then the final one would be the environmental approval before a final investment decision is made. But it is rolling along very, very well. This is a signature project of $12 billion. It is scaled. It's the single largest private investment in the history of Atlantic Canada. It's going to be a game changer for Newfoundland in a lot of ways because it has drawn in so much attention from other companies. So just to give you the scale, the project in Stephenville with World Energy is 3 gigawatts. Muskrat Falls is not even 1 gigawatt. It's only 875 megs. So this is like 4 times the size of Muskrat Falls from an energy perspective. But it's going to create a lot of jobs. It's going to create a lot of demands on the town of Stephenville when it comes to housing. That's the biggest one. But we are working on that with our consultants and management team. And we're hoping to meet with provincial leaders, our premier, different ministers to talk about Stephenville's growth, because we need attention on Stephenville, because not that we're in an emergency position, but we're in a position that our infrastructure has got to be able to keep up in the pace of the growth that's going to happen. They are saying that we may have a work camp scaled in here up to 2,000 workers for 15 years. That's a lot of people. And that's going to draw on a lot of tertiary business. It's going to draw on people who might say, I don't plan to work and live in that work camp for 15 years. Maybe I'll move to Stephenville or Port-au-Port or St. George's or Robinson's. And I think all the outlying communities are going to be supported and growth in their services needed. So we're poised for significant growth. We're poised for also significant taxation for these major projects coming in from assessment perspectives. Our town staff will have to grow. We're pretty thin on staff, as we well know. But I just wanted to say August 23rd coming up, It is a very important day in the history of our town. And that day will go down as an epic day in the history of the town of Stephenville. So I'm very proud of that day. So on that note, anything else?
Yeah, nice speech. Oh, the only thing I have is I had a call from a person that lives on New Mexico Drive. And it's the same story that we've heard so many, many times, but only it's multiplied. It's really, really bad. That street is now for speeding traffic, different ATVs, motorized bicycles, all hours, day and night, speeding down New Mexico Drive. And there was a child killed on New Mexico Drive many years ago. We know that.
I didn't know that.
Yes, there was. Yeah, he was on, I forget how old the
That's
child.
when they made it one way after that.
I think it was made one way after that. And actually it was, would have been family, Harold Wells's brother's child, right? And the person said like there's about 50 children from that part of the town.
Yeah.
And she's got a grandson and she just frightened to death. He's not allowed in front at all. And she's wondering, like, she called the RCMP, she didn't get much satisfaction there. And she's wondering, like, why can't we put speed bumps there? It seemed to me we had them there before.
Well, I'm so glad you brought that up because lately I've had to make a couple of trips into our neighboring town of Kiffins, and they have some speed bumps. And it actually slows you down because you slow down and go to the speed bump, especially if you know it's there. And we've had some discussion within our planning in the past that, to put them down, you gotta drill a little hole in the pavement and it could, eradicate the pavement. But you know what? The more I think about it for me, and I'd like for us to put it back in planning, is that who cares if we're gonna tear up a little bit of pavement and it's not gonna last for 5 years, it might only last for 4 years. This is safety and this is children. And I think we really should look at those rubberized and going down New Mexico, you come off of that sweeping turn, it's almost like you're on the Indianapolis 500 and you got to slow her down. When you come off that sweeping turn, you're going downhill and people lose control of their speed. It's only 40 kilometers, but I'm sure they're going down there 50, 55. And we do have a lot of children in those apartment complexes and those semi-detached and duplexes and fourplexes. So my recommendation, Councillor Aylward, as Chair of Planning and Traffic, let's put it on our planning meeting for the next planning meeting and look at the recommendations to management and public works to get a speed bump built there, because you can't have surveillance there 24/7, but the speed bump could be there 24/7.
That's right. Something has to be done.
Or you could have a speed camera there too.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I think some of the people have cameras that are, along the
Yeah.
street. But she was telling me like, that she's talked to neighbors too, and if they're really concerned about the situation. Yeah.
And, our town, our residents, our children, our seniors, everybody, we've got to do everything in our power to ensure safety. And I do know one of the things too, we've talked about that we're looking at for 2024 is to increase lighting in our town. And we had a presentation, Susan, can you remember about 3 or 4 years ago from Newfoundland Power? They were saying that as the halogen lights, if I get that right, Tristan?
Yeah.
As they burn out, they're replacing them with LEDs. The LEDs are much brighter, and if you drive by Stephenville High School, you can see those LEDs, how bright it is at the school. But there's pros and cons to LEDs. LEDs come straight down,
Yes,
where halogen light
that's right.
our broadcast a little bit better. And I remember that presentation we had. But one of the things we had talked about is we had a policy probably has been in place since 1952. I don't know, where we have a light on every third pole. Well, maybe, to increase lighting, because lighting is safety. And it mitigates crime and theft and stuff like that. Maybe we, as our taxation increases, we can look at every second pole having a light on. And that would actually light up the town, because even going down Main Street in the nighttime, on a rainy, dark night in the fall of the year,
Yeah.
those street lights are terrible on Main Street because they don't give enough illuminacy for safety. So I think that's an issue. Speed bumps is an issue, but I think speed bump on New Mexico is something that we can solve fairly easy. And let's get it on our agenda and get management to look at it.
And you're absolutely right, Sam. That certainly will see that goes on the next planning agenda. I did meet with, I call them the big guns, but I did meet with senior management out of, they call it the Western Zone now, but it's Western Health. And a few changes. Some people are there with different titles that were there before. The CAO, no, the Chief Operating Officer, COA, is Tara Freak, who was there in a different role before. Dr. Dennis Rajley, who was Chief of Medical Affairs, is replaced by Dr. Scott McKenzie. I'd never met Dr. McKenzie before. So it was a great meeting, and the other senior manager there was Jim Wiseman, and he's facilities in some other areas. They've all got different areas, and 2 and 3, some of them. He's also going to be our liaison on the foundation as well. But they were basically said that we have 2 new doctors starting down at the Bay St. George Medical Clinic, and their recruitment is still ongoing for surgeon. Looks like we may have some, when Dr. Crowley leaves the end of August, we may have some other surgeons, maybe one anyway, from a different area coming. And then they also mentioned that they've made some changes in the emergency room area. It's a pilot project and they have a name on it, but anyway, it's when you go in and you get registered, then you get triaged, then you go into a different office and you're told that, you know, if you want to see the nurse practitioner, if you want to see a doctor, talk to a doctor virtually or whatever, they gave them their options. And they said, because if you want that rather than wait around to see a doctor, you will get through a lot faster. So that's working pretty well. They're ongoing, looking for a temporary place to place the staff down at Bay St. George Medical Clinic because they just don't have enough rooms. The nurses, they got LPNs there, nurses, nurse practitioners, they got the doctors and dietitians, and they got a whole bunch of staff and they're sharing offices and there's just not no room. So they're going to be sending out RFPs for buildings to accommodate them until the new clinic is built. Keep in mind that we're still getting the new clinic, but that's going to take a couple of years. Because I don't know, is that main tender?
I think it closes.
Closing.
Be 10 days.
Pretty soon, right?
Today's closed.
Today, isn't it? So that's ongoing too, but as she was saying that in the whole area of the Western Zone, which is the Western region, we've not had any closures because of emergencies. We're about the only one probably, which bodes really well for us.
Yes.
So things are looking, you know, really well, you know.
I think the big thing for us too, and we've had many conversations when we meet the Premier and the Minister of Health again, and the different ministers about the growth of Stephenville. Once final investment decision is made by World Energy that everything's a green light after all approvals hopefully gets passed, we definitely have to have a strategic session with Western Zone and the Provincial Healthcare Board, because we are going to have so much construction and we are going to be at a risk of so much trauma that we have to ensure that our hospital has the appropriate staffing and capacity to handle emergencies should they happen. So I think we'll time that as soon as after final investment decision. We'll go with the Minister of Health, the chair of the new healthcare board, and the associate VPs in those organizations that can start planning. So to ensure that the Sir Thomas Roddick Hospital is actually complemented with the ability to keep pace with this new industry.
There was a fatality in Holyrood today. Did you hear about that?
Pardon?
Fatality in Holyrood, electric.
Hydro.
That.
Not even.
Yeah. So I want to thank all council and management team for conducting this meeting and getting us through it. It is 7:42. I would like to thank all the participants who have joined us here tonight. Beautiful day in Stephenville, Newfoundland. It is raining, like I say, but great for the salmon livers, great for the farmers. And actually it pulls back the forest fires, so that's a good thing. So on that note, I would ask a member of council to move that we adjourn the meeting, unless the councilor has something else to say. All good? Deputy Mayor?
I'm
All
good.
good. Okay. Can I get somebody to move?
I move.
Moved by Councilor O'Mara White, seconder. Second by Councilor Tracy Boland. Meeting adjourned. It is 7:42.
Perfect.